December 21st, 2012 has come and gone, and we are all still alive and well. So to celebrate, the ARLA Elite Series has organized an all-star race at the Rockford Speedway for today, December 22nd. The entire starting field of 25 was voted on by ARLA fans. As such, there were a number of big names that we were not surprised to see get voted in, such as Kevin Monroe, Ebenezer Quiggles Jr., the Riggs sisters. We also have TM Master Cup Series stars Adrian Devereaux and Kevin Dwyer on hand tonight. They got voted into the field after they announced their intentions to compete. Dwyer is fielding his own car for tonight's race, while Devereaux is driving a car supplied by the Rockford Speedway as part of a promotion in which the TM Master Cup Series champion for this season would be invited to compete in the race. So after Devereaux wrapped up the Master Cup title last month, the car was shipped off to Hodges Walter Racing for them to prepare for tonight. Of course, we have a number of surprises surrounding this entry list as well. Team Burr drivers Derek Dudding and AJ Young were voted into the field, even though Team Burr never intended to compete in this race. However, it seems that they could not pass up this opportunity after gaining so many votes. Another surprise surrounding this entry list was that Rip Tyler, our most recent series champion, was not voted into the race. I'm not sure how that late season charge he made to win the title didn't win over any fans, but oh well, he didn't get voted in, he doesn't get to race. Interestingly enough, his two teammates, Bigsby Foot and Libby Bell, were voted into the race. So at least it seems that people don't have a problem with Power Steering Incorporated. We are running a bit long at this point, so let's move on to the Apocalypse Survival Special. Ben Atkins will lead the field to the green flag, and that is Derek Dudding on his outside. The field was decided by a random draw. This is going to be a very sketchy start, especially for those on the outside line. And look at the start that Adrian Devereaux gets. He is already attacking Atkins for the lead, and he will clear him very easily coming out of turn number 2. The preparation that Hodges Walter Racing has put into this car is working wonders right out of the gate. And in the meantime, we've got our first caution on lap number 1. Allie Riggs gets into the back of Taylor Brillin coming out of turn number 4, and that puts the 65 car into the wall. In the meantime, Derek Dudding has held up the field on the first lap. He gets turned around by, I think that's Brian George in the 01, and is sent spinning towards the infield in the entrance to turn number 1. Team Burr did not have any of Dudding's primary cars prepared for this race, so they just brought Paul Lyons' 54 car and crudely scribbled a 68 on the car. But don't worry, this has not screwed over Paul Lyons, who made a hero of himself in that car. He is driving Griesberger's 09 car in this race. Under caution, Namimura in car number 39 blows up. Kurt Walker cars were notorious for blowing up this year, and unfortunately this is going to be the cap for their season. Derek Dudding in car 68 has to pit to repair that damage. Adrian Devereaux is going to try to pick up where he left off as the leader of the race, but unfortunately he's got the two Team Burr cars behind him, and Ben Atkins does not seem to be opposed to roughing up the one car, trying to take the lead back, and I think I saw a little bit of contact between Laura Cyrus, the 102, and Ebenezer Quiggles Jr., the Division by Zero car. Quiggles, as we all know, came into the Rockford 200 last month with a seemingly insurmountable lead in the championship, but he was screwed out of it when he got wrecked by the late Tyson Lautenschlager. Here is Calvin Railer getting held up by Derek Dudding. Dangerous Dog Racing, the team that Railer drives for, is owned by Tyson Lautenschlager's uncle Jeff. Of course, Lautenschlager was killed in the Formula Overdrive race at Texas last month, and I think that may have played a major role in getting this team voted into the race by fans. So that was a nice gesture by the fans there. But Railer is not off to a great start as he just got held up by Dudding and lost several positions. As the leaders come to lap, Derek Dudding again, Adrian Devereaux clearly has no intentions to play nice with Dudding as he roughs up the 68 car trying to get by the Division by Zero of Quiggles. Of course, Devereaux in the Master Cup Series is known for, if nothing else, being very vocal in his disdain for back markers. which I think we just saw right there. Van Atkins has a good 5-car length lead on Devereaux right now, but I'm not sure if that gap will last. Especially since we have a caution as Bixby Foot tries to dump the 68, but Dunning just bounces off of George Bryan in the 01 and right into the path of Paul Lyons in the 09. Lyons had nowhere to go, and this is surely going to take away another opportunity that he has to run up front in a good car for once. Here is the onboard shot from Lyons, running right behind this whole mess. Now, he thinks he's going to make it through, but then Dunning swerves back up into his path, leaving him very little time to react. Lyons will have to pit that car, and the Griesberger team will have to spend a good 1 or 2 laps getting that repaired. Tough break for Lyons. Van Atkins has a problem from the lead of the race. I believe that the 84 team has a tire that's gone down, so he needs to pit to get that changed immediately. This hands the lead to Adrian Devereaux on the restart. Calvin Rayler in the 672 had to drop out during this caution period. That's quite a blow to that team that's been through a lot in this past month. Leslie Riggs is the last car on the lead lap, and she has some front end damage from, I believe, some contact that we may have missed. So she had to pit to get that repaired and came out just in time to barely keep herself from going a lap down. And now Devereaux is under attack from Ebenezer Quiggles Jr., who may have lost the championship, but he's still got something to prove as he has a very fast car tonight. Quiggles won a staggering 4 races this season and easily took Rookie of the Year by finishing second in points. We had another caution on lap 22. Derek Dunning is, no surprise, very slow, but watch this. He somehow loses the car coming out of turn 2, bounces off of Rachel Rainsford and into the path of Kevin Dwyer, sending himself for a slide entering turn number 3. I'm not sure how the car breaks loose when you're going that slow, but Derek Dunning somehow found a way. Under this caution, Ebenezer Quiggles cracks a piston under the hood of that Division by Zero car. Unfortunately, Quiggles is going to have to drop out right after emerging as a series competitor to Adrian Devereaux. In the meantime, Andy Pearson inherits the second spot. Cars 1 and 2 are in positions 1 and 2 at the moment. Although it looks like that Pearson is about to come under attack from Laura Cyrus in the 102 car running in third. Cyrus made a hero of herself in the Motor Assault Racing Machine. She ran in second in points for much of the season in a car that really shouldn't have been up there. In the meantime, we have the battle for 6th between Brian George in the 81 and Yevgeny Kuznetsov in the 82. Kuznetsov received the most votes to get into this race, by the way, but he is now coming under attack from Taylor Brillin in the 65 car as well, who went for that slide on lap 1 and has done a good job recovering. George Bryan and his teammate Brian George will be back next year with the Doppelgang. We are not sure how many races they plan on running, though. Adrian Devereaux continues to lead the race, but he is having a hard time getting by the 41 car of Greg Woodard, who is the last car on the lead lap, and seems to be very desperate to not go a lap down. This opens up the door for Andy Pearson. Libby Bell in the 24 car looks on from third. I believe that this is going to be the last race for Andy Pearson in the ARLA Elite Series for the foreseeable future. However, he has said that he has not been opposed to running some races in a reserve driver role for the team that he co-owns with Paul Sweeney. Pearson gets to lead a lap, but he immediately comes under attack again from Adrian Devereaux. And now Libby Bell is going to work on the 2 car for second, while Devereaux works on trying to get past the 41. And then after losing second, Pearson then gets held up by Derek Dunning. He loses several positions until he decides he's had enough of the 68 car and dumps him right into the wall. What a huge disappointment for the Team Burr fans that voted Dunning and AJ Young into the race. But I think that the rest of the field is going to breathe a little bit easier with him out of the way. Under this caution, Adrian Devereaux drove right into the side of Greg Woodard in the 41 car in his apparent displeasure with Woodard's blocking during that last run. However, Woodard will get back on the lead lap under this caution. After the restart, Rachel Rainsford comes after Laura Cyrus for second place. Rainsford is due to be married during the off-season. We're not sure if she's going to change her surname or not, but right now, Rainsford appears to be very fast, but we'll have to see if she'll be able to keep up with Adrian Devereaux. AJ Young has been just about as slow as Derek Dudding, and Libby Bell appears to be getting tired of him. And she just dumps him right into the jersey barrier, the same wall that Derek Dudding was dumped into off of turn number 4. So that eliminates both Team Bird cars in a very short period of time. Ben Atkins, our pole sitter, has been in and out of the pits a few times, and he is currently running 6 laps down. Atkins isn't far off the pace, but I think it would do him some good to park the car anyway, because when you're running 6 laps down in a non-points race, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're just interfering with the lead lap cars. And apparently, George Bryan in the 81 doesn't want to see Atkins on the track either. He dumps him coming off of turn 2 into the path of Kevin Dwyer, but Atkins comes flying back across the infield, up the track, and into George Bryan. It really looked like to me that Atkins aimed his car at the 81 as he was coming across the infield. And if you get the idea to just fly back across the track and spear someone like that, that's just borderline psychotic. Atkins was immediately ordered to meet with race control, and rightfully so. That was one of the most dangerous things I've ever seen somebody do. Anyway, Adrian Devereaux continues to lead on the restart, and he's got to put up with Ben Atkins, trying to get one of his laps back for some reason. If I were Devereaux, I would be very uncomfortable around the 84 car right now, but Devereaux keeps his foot in it and clears him, putting a cushion in between himself and the rest of the leaders. Bixby Foote comes after Laura Cyrus for the second spot. Foote won 2 races this season, and before 2011, he had not won a single race at all. And now it seems like Laura Cyrus's third place isn't safe, as Brian George in the 01 is coming after her now. We had our final caution of the night on lap 73 as Paul Lyons in the 09 breaks down and comes to a stop on the high side of turn number 2. That's a lot of smoke coming from that car. His problem would unfortunately be terminal. Adrian Devereaux has Brian George behind him on the restart. George got by Bixby Foote right before the caution came out, but Brian George is no match for Devereaux, especially with all that lap traffic. And now Andy Pearson, who has recovered from losing all those positions thanks to Derek Dudding, is making a run for second. Libby Bell in the 24 tries to follow him on the inside, and then making a run for fourth now is Kevin Dwyer in car 72. In the meantime, Adrian Devereaux is starting to put cars a lap down. As we get close to the end of this race, he just put Zachary Zins a lap down. Zins had a mental breakdown after the B-mains for the Rockford 200, and he's been held at the nearby Mathers Clinic ever since. Although, in an episode of medical malpractice, Zins was cleared to race tonight. I believe that there will be medical staff on hand to take him back to the clinic after this race, though. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But back to Kevin Dwyer, who is currently running in fourth place and is now trying to challenge Libby Bell for third. Dwyer started all the way back in 23rd, and he's been slowly making his way up through the field, doing a good job at recovering from whenever he's gotten caught up in accidents, which has been twice tonight. But Dwyer's doing a great job tonight. He's been making a name for himself in the DM Master Cup Series, where his father Benny won the series championship 6 times. Dwyer already has a victory in Master Cup, but he's got a long way to get to the level of his father. And now with just a few laps remaining, Kevin Dwyer's made mincemeat of Andy Pearson and took second place away from him, but Adrian Devereaux, who is coming off of his second DM Master Cup Series championship in a row, is long gone. Devereaux comes across the line to win the Apocalypse Survival Special. And here are your top 10 finishers. The Master Cup stars put a whooping on the field as Devereaux and Dwyer finish 1-2. Libby Bell and Brian George got by Andy Pearson in the final laps of the race. It seems that the handling on Andy Pearson's car win away in the final laps. That's not really how I would want to end my career as a driver. George Bryan puts the second Doppelgang car up in the top 10. Taylor Brillin is 7th. Bixby Foote puts the second Power Steering Incorporated car in the race up inside the top 10. Laura Cyrus finishes in 9th, and then Allie Riggs is 10th. She was the first car, 1 lap down. For the Oliver and Singer Network, I'm Scott Bush, and I would like to thank you for your viewership and support during this exciting season for the American Racing League of America.